Let's talk for a little bit about cylinder bead sizes. Now, I believe that the Aiko's and the Treasure brands are only available in size 11s, but Delica has a much broader size array. They come in 15s, 11s, 10s, and 8s. So it gives you options on what to use and to how to size your project. For instance, there is a little beaded bead that I make sometimes, and because it's done entirely in Delicas, it can be done with all size 15s to make a little teeny tiny bead, or all size 11s to make, that's the size that it was meant to be. The size 10s brings that bead up a notch, and the size 8s make a great big huge ginormous honker of a beaded bead. So you can go from everywhere from like probably about a ½ inch to about 2.5 to 3 inches just by changing the bead sizes that you're using in your project. Likewise, if you're doing, say, a flat peyote piece, a lot of times you'll do those flat peyote pieces that just has a pretty pattern on it for a nice easy to wear flat bracelet. You can totally change up the size of that bracelet by changing the size of Delicas that you're using. If you are a more petite person and you like a smaller, skinnier bracelet, use a size 15 Delica in place of the size 11s. Or likewise, if you like something a little bit bigger, you can go ahead and use the size 10s. The size 8s are really quite large, so at that point you're probably, one of the best things about using the size 8s is how fast that they work up. But let me show you what I'm talking about here with the swatches that I made. I made little swatches here of all the different sizes of Delica beads, and in this case these are all made with the same number of beads. They're all done with rows of 5 beads across, and they're all 18 rows high. So this shows you the graduation, the sizing graduation that happens simply because of the bead size. Now the size 11s is kind of the default. If you run into a pattern or a set of instructions somewhere that doesn't say what size of cylinder bead to use, they're just assuming a size 11. So that's what you should do, is just assume a size 11. For a long time that was the only size of cylinder bead, and then the Miyuki company came out with these other sizes. So here you can see that the size 8s are quite large. This would make a great peyote bracelet by itself, but it is a large scale piece. So here we go. You can see how big wide that would be as a bracelet on your arm. By contrast, if you want something nice and tiny, there you go. Same number of beads, but look what a difference that is in your piece. One other thing that I would like to mention to you with these, especially with these smaller seed beads, or I'm sorry, the smaller Delicas here, I actually was, when I was making all these swatches last night, I was just kind of in a mood to finish, and instead of going down to a size 12 needle to work with these small beads, I was using a size 10 needle, which has a bigger eye on it. And you can see that right here I have a broken bead right here, and that happened as I was weaving my thread back in to end it, and I forced my needle through the bead there and I broke the bead. And so that's the kind of thing that you have to be a little more careful with if you're using the really smaller beads. You're going to also want to use a smaller needle. So if you're using a 15, probably go down to a size 12 needle. Let this be your little lesson there. So this is a lot of times in the videos you will see I will talk about using a size 11 Delica, but if I'm demonstrating, I actually use a size 10 Delica simply because it's easier for you to see to see it on camera. It will frequently make a piece of jewelry that is too large, though. So that's one of the reasons why I will usually talk about using the 11s, but the 10s is really just for video work for me. You can intermix 10s and 11s in a piece and get some really nice, interesting texture. We have a project called the Center Stage bracelet that intermixes the 10s and the 11s, and it's really a beautiful piece. So I hope that helps you with some of the confusion around all of the different kinds of cylinder beads. And what you're going to find most locally at your local bead store is going to be a Miyuki Delica size 11, and that has the broadest range of colors. There's over 800 or 900 colors. They come out with more every year. The ranges in the other sizes, the color ranges, are much smaller. So especially like in the size 8s, I think there's only like maybe 120 colors or something like that. I know it seems like a lot until you're actually trying to pick out colors. Trust me on this one. So I hope that helps explain some of the confusion about that, and I hope it helps you along your beading journey. Bead happy.